Hello guys, welcome to NX with your new video. And in this video, I'm gonna give an update on the price of Bitcoin. So today is Monday, early Monday, and we just had another Bitcoin weekly candle close. So we are going to see how Bitcoin closed the weekly candle, and we can see that this is the first time that Bitcoin closes a candle below the 60K level for the first time since September 2024. So the last time Bitcoin closed a weekly candle below the 60K was in September 2024. Why is this important? This is important because we can see 60K is a very important psychological level for Bitcoin. In this channel, we talk a lot about the 59K, and you can see that closing a candle exactly at 59K, it also coincides with the middle of this downward channel, the Bitcoin bear market channel. We can say that officially the downward or the upward, legacy trend line, which is the bottom of this major upward channel, is working as rejection. It's being like 4 months or 4 weeks, meaning 1 month, working as resistance. And you can see that after this rejection, the only thing that is left is our 59,000 level. So the question that we want to highlight here is, if the 59,000 level is not able to hold, this leaves the question that not only 59,000 level, the only option that is left is our 46,000 level and the bottom of this downward channel. So with this idea in mind, I wanted to show you guys, as promised, that basically I projected, this correction, the previous bear market for Bitcoin, basically just projected uh, the whole movement starting at the silver. Yeah, you can see starting from the silver movement. When the DXY switched from red to silver, I just extrapolated this movement. Yeah, on top of the current price, and you can see where these fractal, what this fractal is giving me is that it sits down, quite well inside this channel. I also, projected the DXY. As you can see, I projected the DXY from the moment that the DXY switched from red to silver. You can see all this movement from red to silver and green. Just uh, I just extrapolated this value and added, as the XY is switch from red to silver, extrapolated the same pattern and added here, and it's also coinciding, of course, with this movement, coinciding exactly with the top of this upward channel, and also extrapolated the last time to 2019 bear market, let's say the 2019-18 bear market, you can see I extrapolated this green, silver, and green pattern, and it gives us two potential move that DXY can do next. So basically, if the DXY is going to go straight up like it did for the previous bear market, we can see that most likely it's going to coincide with the bottom being around April 2027, with the bottom being around a crazy price of at around our 29,000 level, between 29,000 and the 36,000 level. So of course, this is not what many people are expecting to happen, but you can see I discussed it that Bitcoin could come to this secondary Bitcoin upward channel, number two. In this case, I have two channels, and Bitcoin could visit the bottom of this channel, for the first time after a very long time. You can see in 2015 bull market, we can see that Bitcoin stayed inside this channel for a very long time, and then when we broke, we start forming support and resistance on the first Bitcoin upward channel. So after spending three cycles, three bull markets with 1, 2, and 3 inside this channel, I don't see, it becomes kind of uh, apparent that Bitcoin could return to this level, have a very, corrective move during this bear market, and most likely could come to revisit this area. Although many people are not expecting this to happen, I'm actually, as you know, I'm expecting 46,000 level to be, you know, the local, the most reasonable bottom for Bitcoin. But you can see that this would imply that Bitcoin would be bottoming as around, let's say, August, November. Now we are in June. Basically, let's say we do this movement and then fall straight to this level where 46 and 36 would be at the bottom, and start recovering by the end of this year, and trying to challenge the top of this downward channel. But like I just showed, extrapolating this market movement from previous bear market gives us an idea that it could be Bitcoin could go much lower. And let's say if Bitcoin is going this low, we could see how much that bear market would be. It would be around 78 percent to the downside. 78% to the downside. 79% to the downside. So 78% to the downside is a lot, but if we measure from the top to the bottom as well, for the previous bear market, it gives us around 77%. So if we do the 77% in the previous bear market, I don't see why this wouldn't repeat again and we have these why this is likely that this could happen is that we just started silver at the moment. The silver mode just started, and of course, usually silver can last for about, let's say, usually silver can last for for 23 weeks. 23 weeks. In this case, this silver lasted for 23 weeks, and the previous one you can see again 24 weeks. Silver lasts for 23 weeks, 23, 24 weeks. So far, we only have 4 weeks in silver, meaning we have like a month for silver at the moment. And if you are going to have to have 23 weeks or 24 weeks, you can see where this is going to put the price. Basically, if we're going to have 24 weeks, 23, 24 weeks, this would put Bitcoin exactly, let's say, at around 46 and potentially 36. But I'm counting on 46,000, and that would be the most reasonable um, uh, level for Bitcoin. As you can see, there's the mid of this upward uh, channel, the secondary upward channel, could work as support for Bitcoin after we finish the silver mode. Most likely at this level, at this point, after finish silver, of course, the DXY will be it will become green. After these 24 weeks, it will become green, and green is actually the best phase or the final phase of bear market. So, which means I wouldn't be surprised to see it going around 46 to 36,000 during the green phase of DXY in order for Bitcoin to recover from these uh, escape from this channel and find some kind of support at the middle of this secondary upward channel. So now that you guys, again, I almost forgot, is let's say if the DXY, you know, is not meant to become as strong, it's not gonna perform a strong move like the previous bear market. Let's say it's going to perform very, most likely a sideways movement during green. We could expect, you can see, it also coincides with the bottom of this upward channel. You can see the XY not being able to actually break this the bottom of this upward channel to the upside, successfully, and then we have a huge move to the upside. You could see some kind of resistance moving sideways during this time until, of course, Bitcoin managed to leave this area and then continue move up, while the XY most likely will continue to the downside and become weak again. As the dollar is losing is meant. As the dollar is actually struggling with against other currency. You could see the DXY kind of moving sideways during the because of the current financial uh, condition. But moving sideways or having a huge explosion Every huge explosion to the upside would represent the same outcome for Bitcoin. Basically, we would see Bitcoin coming most likely to come and find support around 46,000 to 36,000 level, around this level. I don't see how Bitcoin is going to break the middle of this secondary channel to the downside. It would be like a very extreme market movement, but cannot disregard this because that would put, if Bitcoin had to respect this move to the downside, like we said, it would put Bitcoin exactly at 77, 78% to the downside, which is very common for Bitcoin during bear market. So DXY and Bitcoin ratio, you can see for that reason, DXY, the ratio is behaving, like as it should be, making highs. In this case, Bitcoin is making low. The ratio, got rejected by this upward trend line and is forming highs in this case, and is going toward the 200-week moving average. And we know that we are very close to the bottom. I explained this in our last update that I see the DXY forming at the reversion compared to the price of Bitcoin. The ratio is moving in opposite direction to the DXY, and usually this could mean that the price could reverse. This ratio could reverse downside to the downside at any time, and breaking this upward trend line, to the downside would mean that Bitcoin is ready to actually finish the bear market, and that would mean that the bottom is in. Of course, we're gonna have to see. We will see the XY, the RSI doing exactly the same thing. Uh, Reversing downwards to break this upward trend line to the downside and the 50 level. This would mean that Bitcoin started a new bull run and that the bear market is over. The fear and greed index, you can see fear and greed index. We are in extreme fear territory, understandable. We already know, and you can see the rejection from these. Although the sentiment is making lower highs, but it seems like this is a resistant level for the sentiment, and Bitcoin is currently in a bear market, and it seems like extreme fear is where we're gonna stay for a very long time until the bear market is finished. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, subscribing, and sharing this video with your friend and family. And I'll see you next time. Bye.